Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. The topic of our today's lecture is a ruby laser. In previous lecture we have studied a brief introduction of laser, that what are laser, what is the basic principle of the construction and working of laser, and what are various categories into which the lasers are divided. There were four categories into which the lasers were divided based upon the medium that is being used for producing the laser light. And those four categories into which the lasers were divided were solid state laser, liquid laser, gas laser, and the semiconductor laser. Now here we are going to study about the ruby laser. Now ruby laser is a solid state laser. It consists of a synthetic ruby crystal which will work as the laser medium in this case. Most significant thing about a ruby laser is that it was the first successful laser to be developed in 1960. It was the first successful laser that was developed in 1960. This laser emits visible light of deep red color having a wavelength of 694.3 nanometer. Now let's have a look into the construction of a ruby laser. Ruby laser consists of three main components. The first one is the laser medium, second one pump source, and third one is the optical resonator. Firstly, laser medium. Now laser medium is basically the medium that will produce the laser light. This laser light is being produced in this case by the single ruby crystal. Now here the laser medium consists of a single crystal of ruby in the form of cylinder which will act as a laser medium. And this laser medium will emit the light of deep red color of wavelength 694.3 nanometer. Next component is the pump source. Now pump source is the element of laser that provides energy to the laser medium or laser medium. Now we know that population inversion is the basic principle behind the working of a laser. So in order to achieve population inversion, we must supply energy to the electrons so that they can move from their ground state to the higher state, and that energy in this case is provided by this pump source. In case of a ruby laser, a flash tube is used as a pump source. Here, when the electrons in the ground state absorb energy from the flash tube, they will jump from lower energy levels to the higher energy level. The third major component of a ruby laser is the optical resonator. The optical resonator consists of two glass plates or two mirror sheets that are placed at the either ends of this ruby crystal. Now you can see in this figure which is drawn below, now you can see that there is a single ruby crystal. I have mentioned earlier that the ruby crystal is in the form of a cylindrical rod. Both ends of this crystal are flat and parallel to each other, and at both ends pieces of mirror are placed which will work as the optical resonator. Now you can see that one of these mirror is having a different coating and the other is having a different coating on it. The first mirror that is present on the left hand side is a fully reflecting mirror, that it is fully silvered. It is having a surface that is fully silver and it will reflect all the light that falls on it. And the other mirror that is present on the other end is the partially reflecting mirror, that it will reflect some of the light and some of the light will pass through it, which will be given out as the laser output. So these were the main components of a ruby laser. Now let's look into the working of this laser, that how does this laser works. Like all the lasers, population inversion is basically the key behind the working of this laser. So first of all, we have to keep in mind that the Ruby laser is a 3-state solid state laser. That it is a 3-level solid state laser, and it involves 3 energy levels: E1, which is the ground state, E2, which is the metastable state, and third one is the E3, which is the excited state. Now in case of Ruby laser, optical pumping technique is used to supply energy to the laser medium. Now in order to perform the laser action, we have to excite the electrons that are present in the energy level E1, and they will jump towards the higher level, which is E3. Now in order to achieve that, optical pumping technique is used in the Ruby laser. What is optical pumping technique? So optical pumping technique is a technique in which light is used as energy source to raise electrons from lower to higher energy levels. In this laser, photons will be absorbed, that is, light in the form of photons will be absorbed by the electrons present in the energy state E1, and after absorbing the energy, they will jump towards the energy level E3, which is the excited state. Now we will have a look into each of the steps one by one. Firstly, like as shown in the figure 1, you can see that a large number of electrons are present in the energy state E1. These electrons will absorb photon, and these photons are carrying some energy. This energy will be absorbed by the electrons present in the state E1. After absorbing the energy in the form of photons, they will jump towards the excited state E3 as shown in figure 2. Now you can see that the electrons have jumped or moved towards the excited state. अब excited state में जाने के बाद excited state में residence time of electron, उनका state time जो है that is around 10 raised to the power -8 seconds, यानी कि 10 raised to the power -8 seconds के बाद electrons खुद ब खुद जो है वो jump करके आ जाएंगे state E2 में, which is the metastable state. Now metastable state में जो उसका residence time है that is around 10 raised to the power -3 second, much longer than E3 or the excited state. अब क्या होगा कि इलेक्ट्रॉन्स जो है यहाँ पर 10 raised to the power -3 सेकेंड तक मौजूद होंगे, और E3 से इलेक्ट्रॉन्स फर्दर जंप करके इस स्टेट के अंदर एक्यूमुलेट होते जाएंगे, इकट्ठे होते जाएंगे. Now a state in which there is a large number of or a greater number of electrons present in the E2 or metastable state as compared to E1 or E3, that state is known as population inversion. Now when the population inversion is achieved, the electron from state E2 will automatically fall or decay after 10 raised to the power -3 second, and they will fall back to the state E1. और जब इलेक्ट्रॉन E2 से E1 में जंप करेगा वापस, तो उस टाइम पर जो एनर्जी उसने एब्जॉर्ब की थी वो इमिट कर देगा इन द फॉर्म ऑफ फोटोन ऑफ लाइट. अब फोटोन ऑफ लाइट क्या करेगा? अब ये तो हमारे पास होगी स्पॉन्टेनियस इमिशन. दिस विल बी अ स्पॉन्टेनियस इमिशन. खुद ब खुद इलेक्ट्रॉन जो है वो 10 raised to the power -3 सेकेंड के बाद डिके करके अपने एनर्जी लेवल में आ जाएगा, ग्राउंड स्टेट में आ जाएगा. तो दिस इज़ द स्पॉन्टेनियस इमिशन. अब जो फोटोन इमिट हो गया, जो रिलीज़ हुआ है आफ्टर जंपिंग, तो वो फोटोन कहाँ जाएगा? वो फोटोन बेसिकली क्या होगा कि चूँकि हम लोगों ने पहले बताया कि हमारे पास रूबी लेज़र के दोनों एंड्स पर मिरर्स मौजूद हैं. एक जो है वो फुली रिफ्लेक्टिंग मिरर है और एक जो है वो पार्शली रिफ्लेक्टिंग मिरर है. अब जो इलेक्ट्रॉन जंप करने के बाद इमिट हुए, जब हमारे पास E2 से E1 में इलेक्ट्रॉन्स अब जंप हुए हैं, तो जो फोटोन इमिट हुआ है वो फोटोन बाहर जाने के बजाय क्या करेगा, उस हाफ सिल्वर या पार्शली रिफ्लेक्टिंग साइड से वो या फुली रिफ्लेक्टिंग साइड से जो है वो किसी भी रिफ्लेक्टिंग मिरर के साथ वो टकराएगा और रिफ्लेक्ट बैक होके जाएगा. और वो जो रिफ्लेक्टेड होगा वो क्या करेगा कि दूसरे जो इलेक्ट्रॉन जो मौजूद हैं E2 स्टेट में, उनको फोर्स करेगा कि वो जंप करके आ जाएं E2 से E1. एंड दिस इज़ द स्टिमुलेटेड इमिशन. अब एक जो है वो एक फोटोन जो है वो एक और को करेगा, वो एक और को, और इस तरह से ठीक है. इस तरह से नंबर ऑफ़ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स जो है वो मल्टीप्लाई होते जाएंगे. लार्ज नंबर ऑफ फोटॉन्स विल बी जनरेटेड and those large number of photons में से जो higher energy photons होंगे that will come out from the partially reflecting surface and which will be the laser output. In this way we will achieve the laser light from a ruby laser. Now at the end we will see that what are the uses of ruby laser. Ruby laser is mostly used in the researches and रूबी लेज़र इज़ मोस्टली यूज्ड इन रिसर्चेस. हमारे पास रिसर्च वर्क में हम लोग मोस्टली इसको यूज़ करते हैं रूबी लेज़र को. इसको इंडस्ट्रीज़ में यूज़ नहीं किया जाता. दैट इज़ इट इज़ नॉट यूज्ड इन इंडस्ट्री बिकॉज ऑफ इट्स लो पावर एंड लो एफिशिएंसी. नाउ व्हाट आर the main drawbacks or the major shortcomings of this ruby laser? Since it is the first ever developed सक्सेसफुल लेज़र, अब इसके भी कुछ ड्रॉबैक्स हैं जिसकी वजह से इसका जो यूज़ है वो लिमिटेड है इन मोस्टली इन द रिसर्चेज और स्टडीज़. सो व्हाट आर दोज ड्रॉबैक्स ऑफ दिस लेज़र? फर्स्ट ड्रॉबैक इज़ द लो एफिशिएंसी. The ruby laser is having low efficiency. That output is not that intense. The light that is emitted from this laser is having lesser energy. Second one is the low repetition rate. The third one is high power pumping source is required, and this high power source is required for producing the laser action. And fourth one, the major drawback of this laser is that output is not continuous but it is in the form of pulses. These were the few drawbacks which limits the use of ruby laser. That's all for today's lecture. Thank you. Allah.